So let's see if we can actually make it through the confidence conversation. It's Jules Wyman here from juleswyman.com again. This is the third video. Haven't actually made it through all of Facebook Live yet this evening. I am making the assumption that due to Storm Ophelia, I think it is, that is passing over or has passed over Northern Ireland, is kind of shedding its winds in this direction and potentially could be impacting the internet connection maybe. So for those of you that are persevering and joining me again for the third part, welcome back. Please do say hi so I can give you a genuine shout out and a thanks and gratitude. Hi Shelley again, for showing up again. I'm doing what I can. It's kind of out of my hands in some senses, obviously, although the phone is in my hand. Haha. So let's have a look. There we go. I need to just bear with me 1 second because I need to be able to see, because it doesn't always tell me if it's live or not. Oh, come on. Anyway, I'm just gonna pray. So best wishes. Good luck, everybody, as I used to say at the beginning of every show that I ever did. Okay, so what I was describing was when you are experiencing however you describe overwhelm, is to first of all notice. Thank you, Louise. Is to notice when you are what you are thinking. Get specific. What are you thinking about the situation that you're facing when you're thinking about overwhelm? So, I can't cope. There's not enough time. I'm going to let people down. I'm too pressured. And get really clear. Write that down or speak it out loud. You don't have to speak it out loud to someone. Hey, Katie, welcome back again. You are really persevering, lady. You don't have to speak it out to somebody. You can just say it out loud in the house or to the car or anything like that. But it's important for your brain to then be able to hear it and notice that those thoughts are connecting with that overwhelm. Once you've done that, then ask yourself, what could you think instead that would be helpful? What could you think instead that would be helpful? And what's important when you're doing this kind of process is never make the thoughts that you're having right or wrong. Look at and ask yourself whether they are helpful, whether they are unhelpful, whether they're constructive or destructive, whether they're supportive or unsupportive. So when you write down the first ones, what am I thinking about the situation that I'm facing when I'm feeling overwhelmed? Ask yourself then, once you've seen that, what thoughts could I be thinking that would be helpful instead of those other ones that are creating overwhelm? Because quite often what many people don't realize is the emotions that they're experiencing, and overwhelm is quite often classed as an emotion because it leaks into stress and tension, various other things like that, that very often people don't realize that their emotions are created by their thoughts. So what I'm thinking. So I know for some people that looking to do a Facebook Live alone would for them cause stress. The fact that they've done it 5 times in one evening to try and combat the internet connection. Some people would have been throwing the phone about, getting really stressed. What were you thinking about me? And getting really antsy about it. Whereas me now, the old version of me would have got really pissed off, quite frankly. Whereas now it's just, okay, so what do? I just have another go. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I will come off this. I'll do a video about it and post it. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to stress myself out. But if I'm thinking, oh, people aren't going to like me, they're going to think I'm rubbish, they're going to blame me, I should have had this sorted, none of it's my fault. It's the internet and the internet connection, and because of the weather here at the moment, it's possibly that. So when I think differently, which is helpful thoughts about, okay, well, if it doesn't work, I'll do a video instead, I experience something different. My brain doesn't think itself into overwhelm or stress or tension. It thinks itself into a resourceful, calmer space. Does this make sense? Does this resonate with people? Because I am very aware that obviously I've this is the third video in this part, I just want to check in that it's making sense for you if you're connecting the dots. So can you let me know, give me a thumbs up or hearts or comments. Yes, this is making sense, or thank you, whoever that was. I couldn't see who it was to give you a personal thank you, but somebody went, this is making sense, so that's cool. And if you have any questions, thank you, Louise. And if you have any questions, thank you, Katie. This is awesome, brilliant. If you have any questions about what I've said so far, then please do pop those below, or any thoughts or comments about that as well. Because quite often what we do, when we're experiencing something like overwhelm or stress or tension, is we don't pause. We just kind of go, oh, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's just too much. And it's really important for us to take a step back. And the deeper process that I would take clients through is looking at, okay, well, how am I creating that? Where's it stemming from? So that you can kind of get further clarity for yourself as to what the thinking process is that's triggering that. But as I haven't got that time with you in a one-on-one situation at this moment in time, excuse me, then I do think that this is the most resourceful and supportive place for you to start. If you are stressed, overwhelmed, uncomfortable, thinking that you can't cope, first of all, get clear on really listening to those thoughts. What thoughts am I thinking, or what am I thinking about this current situation? And then once you've listed those out or spoken those out, ask yourself, what could you think that would be helpful or supportive or constructive? And again, either speak those out loud or list them. Now, I know for some people is that they might not yet be resourced to be able to think in a new way. So if you're one of those kinds of people who's like, oh, I don't know what a resourceful way of thinking would be, or something helpful, and that's just overwhelming me even more, think about somebody that you know deals with tough situations with ease or gracefully, or whatever way you would like to, joyously or calmly, and kind of ask yourself, okay, what would they do? What would they do in this situation? What do I guess they might think? What do I imagine that they might think in this situation that would be helpful? And play around with that. I know that years ago when I was first setting up in business, I did this with relation to various different business challenges that I faced, because I have no business background. I come from showbiz, the land of show business, and working backstage in show business. I didn't know how to run my business or networking or any of that kind of stuff. So when I faced various things, I would think to myself, okay, what do I imagine Richard Branson would say or do in this situation? Or what do I imagine Anita Roddick would do? Or what do I imagine, and I would just think a business person, generic business person might do in this situation. Not that I would get it, I'm not looking to get it right, I'm just looking to expand my ideas. I'm just looking for different ways to hear the possibilities. And when you want to look at it from somebody else's perspective, potentially, so this is a great one for any situation. You know, what would your mum say right now, or what would your dad say right now, or somebody that really cares and supports and encourages you, what would they say right now? Because we do know those other possibilities, but we get so locked into our own habits that we can't necessarily bring those thoughts or ideas to hand. So that's kind of like a 2A, if you were, to give you an opportunity to look at things in that way. Is this making sense? Is it helpful? Let me know. She says, needing to guzzle a drink. I think I sped up talking because I was very conscious that the internet might go. So I was like, I want to make sure I give the information. It's probably me going into time overwhelm. And in fact, actually, I'll share something with you that one of my clients who I worked with years ago and has just come back to start working with me again. And she said to me something that I'd shared years ago around, because she said she always used to look at her watch. Oh, I haven't got enough time. God, is that the time? Oh, God, look at your time. She's always looking at her watch. And I don't wear a watch. I haven't worn a watch now for 14 years. And one day I said to her, what if you knew you had all the time in the world? What if you knew you had plenty of time? What if you just said that? I have got plenty of time. I've got plenty of time. And she said, oh, I don't know, I've never said that. And I said, well, have a play for a week or so and see what happens. And she said to me the other day when I saw her again for the first time in ages, she said, you know, I've always remembered that. And every time I hear that thought, I haven't got enough time, which then stresses me out. She said, I always then think, what if I have enough time? And she said, it immediately calms me down. So there's another little to be as a different way of looking at things. So let me know, is this making sense? Am I getting through? Or have we gone frozen again? Have I turned into, oh no, it still seems to be going. Awesome. Okay, so, and if you've got any questions, by the way, please put those down, or you can message me direct with those. It is only me that looks at the admin side on this page. So if you want to message me direct, you can do. I'm just double checking again that it hasn't frozen because it just looked like it did for a moment then. No, oh, wonderful. Okay, so the final thing that I want to share with you this evening, great tip, retime. Honestly, it works. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Very simple little thing, but it does work. It really does work. So the final thing that I want to share with you around overwhelm is something to start challenging potentially your habits or behaviours that you may be doing that you are unaware of their impact. And quite often we spend a lot of time doing a to-do list. But one of the things I've been looking at for myself and also working with clients with is, what about a to-stop list? What are those things that we need to stop doing in order to give us the space that we need, that will give us the clarity that we need, that will give us the thinking time that we need, or the relaxation time, the restful time, the recharge time? What are those things that we need to stop doing? Now, what I mean by that are, where do you know, for example, seeing as we were talking about time, that you might be wasting your time? Or, so like, you know, social media. I know it's an ironic thing to be moaning about social media or flagging up the time we spend on social media when I'm speaking to you through social media. But what about those things that you might be saying yes to, and you just kind of say yes really quickly, versus those things that you say no to? Now on my phone, it looks like this is still going. But on my computer, oh no, it is still going. Fab. So what are the things that you are saying no to, or that you say, or you may be saying yes to? And both of those are kind of automatic, quick chuck out reactions rather, that actually they stress you, or by saying yes to it's adding to your list and therefore creates overwhelm. Or by saying no to it, you are avoiding something that actually you know you want to do, but you're not yet giving yourself the opportunity. So very often, overwhelm is created because we say yes to too many things. And again, this is a conversation that comes up time and time again, where we'll end up, especially in the work environment, of going, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yes, I can get it done in that time. Yeah, I can take on that. Yeah, I'd love to. And some of the things are the things that we want to do, but we need to put them into perspective with what else we've got on our to-do lists. And that's why I do encourage people to start looking at a to-stop list. What are those things that I need to stop doing that take my time, that mean I am avoiding things, I am procrastinating, which then creates even more overwhelm? Is this making sense? Is this resonating with you? Because